Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 5 of the anime series Kamisama no Inai Nichiyoubi. And this was an absolutely fascinating episode. A lot of forward progression and revelations going on with the cast of characters. You basically have this Kiriko character. We're finding a lot out about what brought him into this world, and it's really interesting how you have these 5 or 6 people, whatever it is, wanting, two of them to have a child, and they all come together as sort of a group, wishing this to be. But of course, because this is a world where God, air quotes, has abandoned the world, they seek out the advice of a witch, and it's all really interesting how she grants this wish by taking pieces of them. So basically, when we go back to the revelation in the last episode of the Pox character and the alter ego, I was really curious about what was up with that character, and we have the answer right here, that essentially these other people have to coexist. Now, are there a couple bodies with, two personalities co-inhabiting, or is it just the one body and they have to be constantly switched out whenever one of them has to come out for a day or, go to work or whatever? How does that all work? It's just really intriguing, that essentially that's how Kiriko was born, this sort of ill-gotten deal with a witch. And did this happen in the City of the Dead, or did they just happen to, come there later? It's unclear, but it's highly, highly intriguing. And then, of course, you have, basically Ai going and meeting Ula, the princess, who she believes to be living. I think the jury is still out on that one. Of course, you can't see her face or hear her voice. She's got that sort of, punishment mask, as I referred to it in the last episode, that keeps her from, being able to speak and interact. But she is able to write, very interestingly, and she does somehow see Kiriko's smile. So it's another one of those conundrums with this series. It's a very interesting mystery that, the tapestry of this show is painting for us. We find out a little bit more about what exactly brought this whole City of the Dead Ordos together. Essentially they were born out of a nation of the dead that was spurned by the living, and they decided to rally to have this place be a safe haven for them. Now, what's very intriguing is you have over 150 living people wanting to sort of give up on their living life, I guess you could say, and move to Ordos by the end of the episode. And it seems like a travesty is going on because they will then have to sacrifice their lives. Ai is horrified by this, naturally, as anyone would be, and she believes that the princess must not be aware that this is going on. But we see that she's actually the one, presiding over these proceedings. So it all adds up to a big WTF. What is going on? How did things get to be this way? It's almost a perversion of that divide between living and dead, but there's just a lot of stuff going on where it's like, wow, it's so amazing and intriguing, and I can't wait to see what further revelations come from this point on. Of course, you have Scar also being very sick, and, Yuri kind of being comical in this episode in that he's so worried about both of them, Ai and Scar. Basically, when he comes back after checking their vehicle's progress in, the repair shop, and Scar is so sick. Now, that's another interesting thing about this whole story, is that she's feeling those sort of pangs for wanting a child, but she's a gravekeeper, and she wouldn't naturally have those emotions. So who is? Is it the princess? I kind of suspect it might be. Or it could be the people, a lot of the dead women that live in this city of the dead or country of the dead. Maybe they are longing to be alive again. It's really hard to tell, and there's so many multifaceted layers to this show. I was just really blown away by this episode, and of course Ai is left chasing down the princess, trying to reveal to her the travesty of what's going on with these living people, but the real travesty is going to be when Ai has to face that cold realization. This is the dark side of Ordos that she was warned about. And so I can't wait to see the next episode. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of this episode if you've seen it. And otherwise, I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.